This is Lory Park. She's an activist in Detroit, and I'm
Hi.
Camp, and I'm from Detroit. And we're here today to dream up our perfect mayor because this year is the mayoral election in Detroit.
Hmm.
We're going to just talk about, as Detroiters, who we think should lead us. Like, what kind of person are we looking for here?
Hmm.
Lory, come on, tell us what you think.
Well, I do think in Detroit it is time for a woman. I don't know right now if we have a woman running for mayor,
Mm.
but that would be my would be my hope. Now, who would be in that race? I'm yet to. I mean, I would have a couple of choices, and one of them would be a person like a Nicole Small, who I think would make an excellent mayor. Um, a Beverly Kendall Walker, I would
Mhm.
think would make a excellent mayor. As women, those are the women that I know that love Detroit with all of their heart and soul. So that would be my kind of a woman that I would want to. And there are two different kinds of personalities, Nicole and Beverly. Nicole is a little more fiery and than Beverly. Beverly is a little more um, mild. I don't know what the word would be to have her. She's not. She's when if she's fiery, it would be like a she would be, you
Like
would
a school
know it.
principal. She's like a
Yeah,
school
yeah,
principal,
like a
like
school, right?
stern.
Yes, yes, and you will feel that, you know.
But
And
what
now
kind of person?
Nicole,
But what kind
mhm,
of, like, what kind of characteristics are we looking for?
those are the characteristics I'm looking for. Yes, a stern, fiery, straight to the point, no chaser, sort of like a Coleman, but a woman. Like a Coleman Young, but a woman. So, and yes, to me, she has to be uh, sometimes use a little language that people might not always agree with, but they can, but and that language will get across to the people who who know what they're talking about in that language, you know. But you also have to have the personal language to talk to them, and both of those ladies have it. You know, they can usually use the language that is not very accepted in our community as being a lady.
But what
But
do you think?
they would.
Like, what do you think? Like, what would she want for the city? Like, what
Well,
goals be? If she would just, you could even make like imaginary person, because maybe it's somebody else out there. Maybe they're,
yeah.
but I mean, or maybe
Yeah,
it's one of
whoever
those ladies.
fits that
So,
right criteria. I mean, I know, you know, they would definitely think about the low wage workers, the people who are not able to all the time make ends meet in this city. You know, far as housing, far as medical attention for them and their children. Um, the bills, the water bills. You know, I know in education. Education is so important because now our children don't go to school in the communities where they live. Like I did, I could walk to each and every one of my schools, from elementary, middle school to high school. Where now we have buses that ride all over the city, picking up a pocket of kids in all different areas to go to a school that's not in the community where they live. You know, so I know that both of those, that the mayor that I would want, whether it's a man or a woman, but my dream mayor would focus on education, that they will focus on housing, that they will focus on making sure that people who work are able to afford the bills that they have coming into their home, and to be able to pay for adequate child care. Child care is a big issue for a lot of Detroiters here. So that's one of my those are some of my what I would look in to for a mayor in the city of Detroit.
mm, okay.
Now, what I don't want is the one that we have, and because it does not fit any of those. And I can go on and on about that. But my dream mayor, that's what it is: education, housing. Oh, I forgot to say, making sure that we are safe in our city. Yes, we always, when we could go out to the police commissioners meetings, that is where we would voice our opinions to the person in charge to make sure that we get the policing in our community, and to make sure that our seniors and our children are safe. So that's what we would do if we were still able to go to the meetings. They are virtual now, and a lot of times it takes so long for them to take public comment now. And we have cell phones, and a lot of times the cell phones are not adequately charged, so we'll be locked out of the meeting because if you get off, they won't let you back in. A lot of times, no, they won't, because sometimes they're at capacity. So yeah, the policing would be, well, I should say safety is a big
Yeah, I
issue,
think safety is much
because I
better.
don't know about policing, but safety is what we really need.
I think that too. I think it would be nice to see a mayor who is like a regular person here,
Yes, not
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 like
a seasoned politician, as they call them, who've been in politics forever. We need somebody in, like a you and I. To me, I mean, I think I
regular.
could be the greatest mayor, and I think you would be a great mayor. I do, because we know what the people need. We don't have to go and ask what is needed. I don't need nobody to go ask for what they need. I already know what they need. They need their water bill paid. They need to make a livable wage. They need to make sure when they go outside to go to the store that they're going to be safe, whether they walk or whether they drive. Yes. So I don't need nobody to come to me, well, what you need on this side of town. I need to make sure that the people over here are being safe. I need for you to know that the children over here need an adequate school to attend. I need for you to know that there needs to be clinics and healthcare facilities in this area, so that when my family needs medical attention, that they're able to get to it. So, I mean, yes, I need somebody like that in my city. Yes.
Right. And in Detroit, so many people could just be the mayor because you have to do so much just to get simple things done here.
Mhm.
End up with a lot of skills that you
Mhm.
expect to have just to have little things like get done in your neighborhood. So
Right.
that's the thing. And I mean, a lot of women in this city, they already are taking care of large families, organizing a large group of people to do things and
Mhm.
hear them and budget on a shoestring. And lots of things that mayors that are like from I went to law school and I published
Right.
la la la, with
Right.
people like they don't have a lot of like basic skills. Like they know how to
Mm-mm.
campaign donations and they know how to
Right.
get money from corporations, but do they
Correct.
take care of the people that live here?
Right. No, because they've never had to want for anything. A lot of times, if you know you had to get out, your car not working, but you got to be to work. You ain't finna say, well, let me go call the mechanic that got the mobile car to come over here and fix it. You are gonna already know, let me get my butt on the bus, or because I got to do that. I'll figure out that car when I get back, but I got to be to work. So I mean, we don't need that today. We know when we look outside and we see all that snow, we can't go back in the house because of all the snow. We got to figure out how to get that shovel, dig our little way to the car, or to our ride who's going to pick us up, and get in that car and go. A lot of people have the privilege, or of not ever having to think about situations like that. And those are a lot of times those politicians who went straight to law school, or went straight to school to be whatever degree that they gotten. And a lot of times us everyday people, I don't have a degree. I mean, my degree is in everyday life, because if you ask me how to get out of a situation, I can figure it out in a matter of minutes.
I'm sure you
You know what I'm saying?
can't believe you.
I'm like, wait a minute now, let's do this. How am I gonna get out of this mess that I'm in? I can't figure out how to. If I can't figure out, if I can figure out how to pay the water bill on a minimum wage job, I got skill.
It's true.
You know, so that's, they got to be able to do that. And if you ask, I would like to, and then when you ask a politician like a Michael Duggan a question like that, he'll come back with a smart aleck answer.
Yeah.
He will. Yeah, uh they told him, well, listen, we need you to give us back our money that was stolen for overtaxation. He just looked at everybody and said, well, I ain't got it. And that was it.
Wow.
Not even trying to say, well, let's figure this out. We got a lot of people in here who've been overtaxed. I mean, I don't know what we can do, but with all of these minds here, we can figure out what we can do in order to make you guys whole. If we can't make you whole all the way, we're going to figure out a way to do it at least halfway. He said none of that. And though that's not the kind of person that I would want to be around, because all I've worked around is people who try to make the best decisions for people. And we would get together and with our little pea brains, we would say, and figure out how we can make it better. But I see none of that in him. Oh, it's just okay. And then as soon as he gets in hot water, he'll try to come back. But you should never wait for people to get in, because you get in hot water, you're gonna make a decision now. That's not
Yeah.
how it
Why are you gonna make everybody do all this activism and all this fighting for you
hmm
supposed to do in the first place?
right. When you could have said, wait a minute, everybody, so I can let me see what we can do. But he knew that it was happening all the time. That's why he said what he said. You know what I'm saying? So he knew it was there. So he said, and then when he finally knew, when he seen that we had been overtaxed, come out and tell everybody, listen, y'all been bamboozled. That's the way me and you would do it, wouldn't we? If we found out something, we'd be like, listen, they done got us. So we got to figure out how we gonna get these people back. We gonna get these people back their money. That's what you and I would do. We wouldn't be saying, well, wait a minute, let's wait till they catch us. I wouldn't say nothing like
Yes.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So I don't know, but no, that's not the kind of person I think should still be in the position over our lives in the city of Detroit. I just don't. So no, I need somebody who's going to be honest and transparent. We know honesty is not there. We know transparency is not there. Not right, not for the past, what is it, 8 years or higher. That's too many years. That's too many years for me being under a leadership like that. And it was one day that a radio show was on, and they were playing back one of Dr. King's speeches. And it was one of my favorite speeches by Dr. King, talking about how we've been misused and abused, in this country, and how we need to find leadership that has a heart and that has the best interests of the people, and not just the corporate people and the people with money. And I called the show, and I said I would like for I said I would like for the mayor, or the so-called mayor, because I really don't call him the mayor, the mayor who's supposed to be in this city, to sit down and be and somebody tape his butt to the seat so that he could listen to that speech. And I was crying on the radio show. So I seen the person the next day at a funeral for one of our one of our commissioners who passed here. And they was like, Lori, you called the show yesterday and you were crying. I said, I know. I was just so upset whenever I hear that speech. I get upset because it's the same thing that's going on right now. How can we be fighting for the same thing 50 years? I was a baby when they was fighting for these things back then. So why do I have to fight for it? That don't make sense to me. It's not at all.
Right.
And it's painful, people, and I know my children tell me all, well, you ought to stop uh doing this and doing that. I said, well, and then when I say, okay, I'm gonna stop, then they say, well, who gonna do it then? I said, I'm like, I don't know. because I think about all of my seniors and the people who were in the bankruptcy. So I tell everybody, look at the movie, lootingdetroitthemovie.com, and make sure that they look at the whole series, and you can look at it in segments because it tells the whole story about why Detroit was taken over and what happened. And now a lot of those people who you see on that movie, we know a couple of them dearly that have passed on.
Mhm.
And they passed on because of the inadequate medical attention that they could not receive because of their medical insurance was taken away during that
Yeah.
bankruptcy.
Yeah, it killed
So, so I think about them, and when I do watch it kind of often, so I think about those workers uh, that are no longer with us, and the ones that are still with us, are still struggling with a lot of issues like taxing on their homes. And a lot of times now, they thought they would be able to um, live on the pension that they had set aside in order to do the things that they needed to do, and they wouldn't have to worry about getting a roof repair, because at that time we had if you were you could, what you call it, you could get a grant, and now they changed it to a loan.
again.
So, yeah. So now that's not there for them. So I think about all of my people who went through bankruptcy in the city of Detroit, which we didn't have to go through. We know that. Because if I paid all my bills every time and you ain't missed now payment, how am I in bankrupt? I can't be. I mean, I ain't missed nothing. So
Well,
that's
and
that's
then
right.
and when you look at like all the different people that were involved in the bankruptcy, and then you look
Mhm.
at what happened just now to the United States with Trump, you'll see
Right.
a lot of the same people overlapping, from that did that
Mhm.
in Detroit, did
Right.
to the United States. But when I
Yes.
talk to people about what was going on in Detroit, people would always be like, "Well, that's just Detroit because it's mismanaged, because blah blah blah."
Right. But
Well, how about now?
right. How about now? Right. And see, we didn't mismanage. They just wanted to put that narrative there so that they could do what they wanted to do. And now we don't have anything to back it. Well, they see it now, a lot of people. So, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, it makes me sad because I know the people who were affected by it. I know a lot of them, and then to me, it was I know it was only from the time that Coleman Young came in up until the time that Kwame was there. Those are the people. So if you worked for the city before Coleman Young was elected, then your pension uh was not in that bankruptcy. So, and it wasn't that many African Americans working at that time for the city of Detroit, because when Coleman came in, a lot of people left the city of Detroit. And then I was thinking about this the other day because of they were talking about Coleman Young when he got in office. Before he got in office, the city of Detroit elevated a lot of police officers who were rookies into commanding positions in the city of Detroit. And so when Coleman got in, you know, they stayed, some of them, and a lot of police officers left. But he put in a lot of African Americans who were on the force for a long time, who deserved those positions, but they gave them to the rookies. You know what I'm saying? So we needed to look at a lot of that too. If history, I was telling somebody about history. They said, "Oh, that was back in the day." What you mean back in the day? I said, because if you look at the history, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.